everyone.
Hello!
Thanks for interrupting me. Welcome to our Facebook Live today. We are going over our fact or fiction that we posted. David, do you remember what the fact or fiction statement was for this week?
Do you need the right people on your team to run your business without your day-to-day input? How close am I?
Yeah, that's close enough, I think.
That's close enough? I hope so.
So, it is a fact. You do need the right people on your side, either that being either contractors or employees that have bought into your business. That way, your business, if one day you decide to take a step back, you don't have to walk away. You can just take a step back. It'll be able to still run on its own. So before we jump into that, let me introduce myself. My name is Maria Mejia, and this is
David Pataki.
And we are the co-founders of Your Financial Success Matrix.
Matrix.
I don't know how there's an echo in the Matrix, but you know, there is. So we are here to help fill the gap between being simply CRA compliant and having a successful business.
Yeah, getting back to the question, the statement of having the right people on your team, I think it also goes back to why is it that you started the business? What is your end goal for the business? I mean, obviously, the end goal doesn't have to be 50 years down the road, depending how old you are. But where do you see your business when it's in its maturity level, maturity stage? Are you wanting to work in it day in and day out? Or did you want to be able to, as Maria has said, step back a little bit and be able to still realize the revenue from the business, but not work in it day to day?
Yeah. So when people, start their business, they think, oh, I'm going to be working in this business 24/7. I'm going to be the main person. I'm going to be the face of the business. And, that's great, having that idea, that mentality. But eventually your business is going to grow. We're hoping that it's going to grow big enough that it will run by itself. So something that...
I want to interrupt you there for a second there, right? But you want it to grow. But if you don't have the success plan written down that we talked about in the past, how are you going to get that business to grow? And yes, sometimes it'll grow organically, word of mouth does help and so on, but that's not sustainable growth. That gets you to a certain level, but it won't get you to that, be able to step back and be able to realize the reoccurring revenue. Sorry, Maria, go ahead.
No worries. We are on the same wavelength today, because I was going to mention that.
Same wavelength.
That's right. Get down to my level. We had mentioned previously in our Fact or Fiction, I believe it was our first one, that was talking about having a business plan written out. Do you have processes written out? Can your employees figure out, how is it that you onboard new clients if you give them a service? How is it that you advertise to potential clients? Is that written down somewhere? That way, if someone comes in and is you hire an employee to focus on the advertising, are they able to follow the same steps you do and have the same advertising products go out to collect those new clients?
But that's all great, but there's one important thing that you sort of jumped over, is that if you have the mission part or the vision of your business written down, that is something that you can then share with your team members. And then that way everyone's on the same page. In order for it to actually be successful, you need complete buy-in. Well, I mean, maybe not complete buy-in, but you definitely need buy-in from your team members on where you're going with the business. Because if they don't feel the same way, or they don't, that vision doesn't really speak to them, not saying that you have to, but then that's not the right fit. That's not the right person for your team. So it is very important to even talk about that in the interview stage, or whatever stage that you are getting to know the prospective employee.
I know we've kind of been focusing on employees for the past few seconds here, but some small businesses aren't quite ready to take on not the liability, but the expense of having an employee on their team. So having that contractor, another business that you can rely on, David here's run a few businesses. What are maybe some common mistakes that either you made or that you've seen other people make when it comes to trying to get that buy-in from someone who isn't going to be an employee?
Well, just being clear right off the bat. Yes, Marie and I are going to harp on putting something on black and white on the paper. Oh, you could use color if you want to spruce it all up.
A crayon.
The crayon? I think we should do that for next time.
We
We'll
should.
have our mission statement written in crayon right here. But the importance of that is so that you yourself, your vision is clear enough that you know what you want. And when you know what you want, you know where you're going to go, where you want to take the business, you're able to relay that to even the contractors that you work with, from bookkeepers to maybe other types of vendors that you need their buy-in for. If you don't have it written down, you don't have it articulated, how can you share it? So for me, that it probably it sets that one step before. It's knowing, being crystal clear in my mind, not in my mind and on paper. Because a lot of the times I know where, in the past, I know where I want to go with my business. And I kind of told people, in the past. But because I wasn't able to legitimately put it down on paper and say, this is it, it was very hard to get the whole buy-in. Does that make any sense, or was I all over the place there?
Made sense to me. So, do you have a good example, maybe, of a business that you've worked with or your business where they were able to articulate it to someone else?
Where they were able to articulate it?
Or if you were able to articulate it to another business. Kind of give us an example that we can work off of.
Well, working with. So I've worked with a lot of businesses over the years in different capacities. Some just doing a logo design, some doing a complete marketing campaign with them, and so on. But that's a good question because not very many people in that environment have been able to share it. They've been able to share the vision, what they have in their mind, but they weren't really able to share it on the black and white
Paper.
on the piece of paper. Yes, Maria's throwing a good one at me here. But the challenge that I put out there is that we are there now. Maria and I have been able to articulate the mission, the goal for your financial success matrix. So we've been able to make sure that everything we do moving forward fits into what we want to do. And that definitely was a hard lesson that I learned. I learned it in theory in the past, but like I said, I had to, the business I had the longest was a print design marketing business that I grew. I was a designer all by myself. I was able to grow it into a multi-employee business with hundreds of clients over the years. But I kept it all in my head. I didn't write it down, so it was hard for me. I remember at one time I hired a designer to work with me, and because I wasn't articulating the vision of it, we weren't jiving on how the process should work or how we are talking to clients. So it was critical at that point that I should have been able to articulate that.
Yeah. And that definitely, if you're able to articulate, the value of your business, the way that it works, you have it written down, you'll be able to find those people who have the same understanding and the same passion of your business. Because, you could get a random business partner to partner with you to either be a contractor or be an employee or an actual business partner. And if they don't understand your vision of the business, they might go, to a full 90-degree, totally different direction of where your business could be going, where it is going. So having it written down, you can kind of vet those people that you'll be bringing into the business as well.
Right, and just to step away from the whole written down vision plan there, when we talk about getting the right people in place, there's a mindset shift that you have to take. And it's very difficult for the entrepreneur that was the technician. The person that learned a skill, was good at a skill, decided to start a business around that skill. Like myself, I decided to create this design and print shop off of the fact that I had design skills in school and all that fun stuff. So when I went to shift, when I started bringing employees on, it was very difficult to let go. So the mindset there is that you have to get into, which is very difficult to do, well, because you were always the doer. You were the one. Everyone relied on you. Push came to shove. It was up to you. To be able to step back and let go is a very difficult process to go through, and with the mindset. But if you can hire the right people and go, yeah, I'm hiring this person to take this responsibility off my plate so I can grow my business. We're all about helping you grow your business and being profitable. And if you do want to get to that level where you don't have to work in it all the time, which I'm hoping most of you are, because at some point, as good you could be the best technician in your business, but you started that business to realize other areas of being an entrepreneur as opposed to just owning yourself a job, right? So you want to look at being able to step back and be able to hand off some of those responsibilities so you can continue to grow your business.
For sure. Well, that's the extent of my knowledge on this topic as of right now. So, follow us more for, more in-depth analysis. We have launched our podcast.
Oh, yes!
And it is called the 5% Club. If you've been here for a bit, you know that we say that once you have something written down, welcome to the 5% Club. So, follow us for that. We're releasing that every week, as well as these fact or fictions. And once again, if you have any questions, comments, objections, let us know. Send us a message here on Facebook, or you can send them in the comments, and we will answer them in the next live.
Yes, for sure. We have lots of fact or fictions lined up for you. Stay tuned for next Monday for when it goes out. But we would love to have interactivity as well. So if you have comments or you disagree with what we say, please, send us a comment. Let us know, like us, and all the podcast streaming sites we got out there. The Techno Genius beside me is doing a fantastic job with that. What a great partnership. And this is all happening because we have a written mission statement and vision statement, and we know where we're going.
And I've bought into his vision.
Well, yes, but we've bought into it together because we wanted to do something that's much bigger than us individually.
Yep. So we are here to help you succeed in your business and to help your business grow and be profitable. So we will see you next time on the next Fact or Fiction.
Cheers.
Bye.